What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. Now, today, man, it's an honor and a privilege. Allah Mathematics. Thanks for coming through, sir.
Peace. What up, Soren? Good to be here.
Yes, yes. So, long time in the making, and among the many, many, many things mathematics has going on is the Black Samson, the Bastard Swordsman album that is out right now and just came out. Very excited to talk about this because, for one, you produced the whole album. So let's just talk about some of the music first. With Claudine in particular, that song I had heard before, and I know it's on this one. So since that had been previous released, and I know a lot of things change so much with how music is released and consumed now, why did you want to make sure to include Claudine on this project?
Well, Claudine was actually the first record off of this project when I made this project. So Claudine was always a part of this project. Um, you know, Certain things happen, like behind the scene, business wise, and things ended up, how they end up sometimes. But that one is dear to my heart, and I had to make sure that this was a part of this project.
Okay. And with Claudine in particular, Method Man and Ghost are on there, but with Meth, one of the main things that he's celebrated for beyond being a great lyricist is, of course, his song for and about women. And
Mhm.
on this one, in his verse, he's talking about his relationship and makeup sex and all this type of stuff. So, given the Wu's persona and the Wu's aesthetic, why do you think Meth in particular works so well when he's rapping to and about women?
Because it's natural. It's natural for Meth. I mean, everything that Meth do and rhyme about it is natural for him. It's what he do when he hears a beat and how he feels on it. Um, just like even when you deal with All I Need, like that was natural for him to do it. He did it, naturally from the heart. The same with this one, and with this one, I asked him to do that. If you listen to the song Claudine, it's two different verses, and it's a reflective of life and death on both. It's two components. So Meth is the first component, and his first component, he's dealing with the woman and how, like you said, his relationship. So that's Claudine on that level. But then Ghost deals with it as far as on a second level, as far as a mother. Claudine now not being as far as who you're in a relationship, but it's your mother. Claudine is also your daughter when you look at it. So it's just different phases of life. That's why if you listen to the hook, Nicole Buss says one for the lovers, and that's the first verse. Two for the ones we lost. That's the second verse. So when you get to the three and the four, that's his life. That's dealing with mathematics and in general. So, and there's four of us that complete that song.
Yes. And to your point with um Ghosts, and it's he, I would argue, is of the Wu the most one that taps into the emotions, which I think he does so well on Claudine, especially where he's like, talking about if your mom is alive, make sure to show her love, like that type of thing. So obviously knowing these dudes for so long, Ghost on the one hand seems slightly maybe, and even from the beginning, that from the outside, people not knowing the members personally, seems to be arguably the most grimy, but he also seems to be the most emotional at the same time. So how does that, how and why do you think that works for him so well?
Cause Ghost is, I could say this about Ghost, like, and all my brothers, just like I said, it's natural for Meth, it's natural for Ghost too. And Ghost is a brother, like he love you, he love you. It's like he's gonna go 100% for you. You don't never want to cross that brother. You know what I'm saying? Then you see the grimy side. Um, and the crazy thing about, that's why this song hits so close to home for me, because just like him, I lost my mother, and I actually made the track the night I lost my mother, because
Really?
yeah, because she loved, like, music. Been in my house since I was little, and I have a lot of brothers and sisters. I'm like, I only have one little sister, so out of all the male children, I'm the youngest, right? So music, all different types of music was being played throughout the house, but my mother, she had certain music that she just loved, and it resonated with me. So the night when she passed, I wouldn't listen to them songs. I was just listening to like the Al Greens, the Solomon Burks, and the Stevie Wonders, and all the joints that she loved, Johnny Teller. Then I'm sitting there going through my emotions, and I was like, yo, I got to do something. So I just started working, and it was the start of Claudine. And
Wow.
what's crazy was this is what's even crazy. Like with Ghost, when Ghost tapped into it, he kind of tapped into that before we even talked about it. So as we're talking about it, he was already there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, as they say, the cipher's complete right there then. Wow.
yeah,
That's impressive. Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's the song that's meant to be, and that's why I said I hold that one special to my heart, and it had to be on this project.
Right. Hmm. Okay. Now with on a different sonic feel is the Mandingo song, and that one the beat's a lot faster. You got the scratching on there. It has a and it starts off the album after the intro, the Black Samson album. So a lot of different things. But for you, have you noticed because you've put out so many projects, you've been involved in so many projects, you produce so many things, have you found sequencing even in 2025 era still matters to where you wanted something with a lot of energy up front?
Of course, it still matters. Sequences is so important because I don't, even though they say nowadays it's a single driven uh music, they labels try to push singles. They say it's single driven. You don't have to worry about an album. I'm a producer, I'm an artist at the end of the day. And for me to paint a picture and tell a story, it's going to take more than one song. It takes a full production for me to tell my story from beginning to end. And it's always a musical journey for me. So when you sit down, it's something that you got to listen to from beginning to end to get the story. So sequences is very important because if you put the wrong song out of order, it can throw everything off. Or if you have the wrong song in it, not saying because I recorded a lot of songs. I have more songs, but these songs fit so perfect together that this was the package. And it was, you have to, yeah, sequence is important. But 2025, I think anytime, whether you listen to a jazz album, blues album, funk album, hip hop album, whether it's, Into the 36 Chambers or Public Enemy, Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back from beginning to the end. It's a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to take people, I ain't gonna say trying, I'm still taking people on the journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And with Black Samson, one thing I was always curious about is back in the day, because the Bastard Swordsman's part of the title as well. On the Killer Army Dirty Weaponry, did you produce the Bastard Swordsman song?
I did, yes.
Okay, because I always had heard rumors of this, but I never really because I think on the credits I remember it was all Fourth Disciple. I don't think it said on the
Oh,
back
really?
credit. Yeah, on the back credits. So,
Oh,
but I know on the inside it might say different stuff. But
yeah, it should, yeah. Because I
so
produced Bastard Swordsman and I think something else off that.
Galactics too, I think.
Galactus, yup.
Yeah.
Galactus, yup.
So that being said, why has the Bastard Swordsman been such a thing throughout your career and your life, clearly?
Well, Bastard Swordsman is an ill karate movie, for one. It's a karate movie that's very rare, hard to get. And when we first found it, we found it in Chinese, of course, like a lot of movies we get, but it had no subtitles. So we had to figure out the movie on our own. And we used to talk about it, especially like me, Killer, RZA. We used to always try to piece together the story. Years and years later, they finally came out with it subtitled. And when
Mm,
we read it, we was pretty much on point.
really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we was pretty much on point. But Bastard Swordsman, that to me is a dope movie. Swords. I always love sword fighting, and just the story of him, because it's like he wasn't. I ain't gonna say he wasn't supposed to be there, but he wasn't the one that they thought was going to be who he was, and he had, and you know, I don't want to give away the movie in case somebody wants to watch it and find the movie and pick it up. But it's a great movie. So Bastard Swordsman is just, for me, I look at it like that. Like, you know, you look at everybody from Wu-Tang Clan, they're all from Brooklyn or Staten Island, right? I'm
Right.
from Queens. I'm from Southside Queens. You know, um, I wasn't. I was a DJ. Production just happened for me, where I just kind of, you know, when I seen RZA do Ice Cream, and I really was seeing the transition, it just called to me then. It called to me. It was like get up, come here, because I was passing out when RZA was working on it. I'm on the floor laying down after we didn't went to the movies. He was already working. I'm on the floor laying down, and I'm hearing the transition, and I got up about 7 o'clock in the morning. Ice Cream, as we know it, was blaring out the speakers. And I went into the room because he did in the pre-production room, because downstairs was the full studio, which was one of the studios that actually got flooded. Um, but I went in there, and it just called to me, and I was like, "Yo, you made this with what?" And he was like, "Yo, with this." And it was the ASR 10. He started breaking it down to me. So I went and got me an ASR 10, and I started producing. So it just called to me. It's like, you know, you have Fourth Disciple, you had True Master, you had Inspector Deck, you had RZA. They was all producing already, and they was killing it. I was
Yeah.
playing my part into that day, to that morning, that night, that day, morning, whatever. Ice Cream. It called to me, and it got me what I'm doing now.